Here are the hottest NFL teams: the Baltimore Ravens, San Francisco 49ers, Atlanta Falcons, Dallas Cowboys, Philadelphia Eagles, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the Miami Dolphins, the New Orleans Saints, and the Washington Commanders. These 9 teams still undefeated. Last night, Week 3 of the NFL kicked off with the San Francisco 49ers win over the shorthanded New York Giants. The Niners took care of business at home and improved their standing to 3.0. And this was a huge win for Niners quarterback Brock Purdy. He extended his improbable streak. Purdy, the last pick of the 2022 NFL Draft, a.k.a. Mr. Irrelevant, has now won all 8 of his regular season starts. He is now the first quarterback in NFL history to reach this feat. So it's safe to say that he is no longer Mr. Irrelevant. And there's news tonight about Kansas City Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes. He's getting paid. Fresh off his newly renegotiated contract, the 2-time Super Bowl champion is now guaranteed $210.6 million over the next 4 years. In a press conference, he spoke about his new contract and what it means for other players in the league.
I don't want people to be negotiated against me, and so that's a reason that you do something like I did this last week, just trying to keep the market moving in the right direction, trending in the right direction, so not only me but other quarterbacks and other positions can get paid the money that they deserve.
Mahomes is now the second highest annually paid quarterback in the NFL with an average yearly salary of, ready for this, $52.65 million. And both on and off the field at last night's 49ers versus the Giants game, things got a bit hostile. The first half ended with a scuffle as 49ers offensive tackle Trent Williams appeared to throw a punch at Giants defensive tackle Sean Robinson. But actual punches, real punches, were thrown in the stands as a wild brawl broke out between fans. In the now viral video, a fight between 2 women broke out and was escalated when a male bystander pulled the hair of one of the women and dragged her down. At least 2 other men then got involved and started to exchange punches. It's not clear exactly what caused the brawl, but it was eventually broken up by a security guard. 2 women. Joining me, Angela Pride, mother of Las Vegas Raiders cornerback Troy Pride Jr., and Audrey Garrett, mother of Cleveland Browns defensive end Myles Garrett. Let me go to you, Angela, just to talk first about these 2 women in the stands. Do you have any thought about that?
You know, I didn't see that, Greta. I'm kind of new to that. So the fact that you said that, because I was actually packing last night. I've been on the road today. And so I was a little bored with the game initially, but it definitely did kick up. But no, I did not see that there was a brawl in the stands. Anything can happen in football.
Why do you have a Notre Dame shirt on?
That is where I am. I'm headed to South Bend today. There's a big game tomorrow. In case you didn't know, college football is still a thing as well. And I'm excited to be back in South Bend tomorrow to cheer on those Fighting Irish.
Indeed, it is a big deal. Okay, Audrey, I got to ask you about these women fighting in the stands and one's pulling the hair. The guy pulls the woman's hair or something. You got to have something to say about that, I know.
It happens more than you would imagine. The fans fighting from the suites where we sit, we kind of look down into the stadium. It happens all the time. It's almost as entertaining what's on the field, depending on the score of the game. Fans and too much alcohol, it gets rowdy up in there.
Audrey, what happened with the Steelers Monday night?
Which incident?
No, I mean the score. The score.
Well,
I mean, why did the Browns?
I think the injury to Chubb. Well, I think the injury to Chubb really deflated the team. It really brought down the atmosphere on the sideline. When you first approached me about talking to you on your show, you talked about it from a mother's perspective. I was sitting with Lavelle, when we saw Nick go down. Lavelle is Nick's mother. And it was one of the most sobering things that I have ever experienced as a mom, even just sitting next to her. So I think the atmosphere, it just kind of sucked all the wind out of the Browns organization, the team, everything. Nick is a huge part of the Browns organization and their team and their scheme. And he's a wonderful person. So it was very traumatizing for us on our side of the field.
Angela, the injuries are they're pretty rugged. I mean, some almost catastrophic. Look, it's terrible that maybe Aaron Rodgers had a career-ending injury 2 weeks ago. Maybe not. Maybe he says he's going to be back. But some of these other injuries, Angela, these head injuries, these concussions, you must worry about your son playing.
Well, it does come with the game, but obviously, I mean, it's for me, it's not about worrying. I always pray, for all the young men that are out there that they can stay safe, but injuries are inevitable. I mean, my son sat out last year because of an injury. And he had never been injured before, at least to that extent, right? He may have sat out a game, but injuries are, they're a part of the game. We kind of know it going in, but you never get used to it. You never, from a mother's perspective, you're always praying for that young man to get up. You're always hoping that he's going to come back bigger and better than ever, because what I think a lot of people don't understand is that these guys they'll play hurt. They want to play that bad. They love this game that much. And so injuries are it's just a part of the game. And so, like I said, as moms, we try to rally together, just like Audrey just said, and pray with one another and pray for our sons. But yeah, it's definitely something that you definitely don't want to see. And I agree with you, Audrey. I think, but your defense, defense did well. I would like to talk about Deshaun Watson and how he was a little unhinged. I saw some behavior in him that I hadn't seen in a long time. So he tends to be a poised quarterback, but he kind of gave up some 30 yards at least himself on some face mask calls and things like that.
Audrey,
Yeah,
we only have 30
did
seconds
not look,
left. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Audrey.
we did not look strong on the offensive side of the ball. Deshaun still looks like he's been sitting out for 2 years. He did not look like he had been under the snap and getting a rhythm with his receivers. It did not look cohesive whatsoever for the Browns. So hopefully this week, we will jumpstart against the Titans and get ourselves back in line, and maybe Deshaun will look better at home, and maybe his comfort level at home will be something that can travel through the rest of the season.
All right, I was going to ask you what you're watching besides your son's teams, but I run out of time. I was going to say I think a great game to watch this weekend, although I'm a Packers shareholder, is the Ravens and the Colts. Talk about a grudge match. That's going to be quite a game this week. Audrey, Garrett, thank you. Angela Pride, thank you. I'll see you soon. Thank you.
Go Irish.